Chest up, shoulders back. This is Revival Fitness, your home for gains and brains. And I'm sure as you've seen, we've talked about it here a bit lately, Looksmaxxing keeps rising, and it's not going to stop, by the way. But it has a major overlap with fitness as well, and we have a guy here who has put a lot of money into his looks. Here's our boy Androgenic. We're gonna look at his IG and see how much he's changed in a moment. But a quick word about Looksmaxxing in the realm of surgeries first, because to get major results, you really have no other option besides surgery. And of course, there are tons of celebrities that get work done over the years, especially as they get older. But in terms of a general guy, I think the biggest cautionary tale is Frank Tufano. He got, I believe it was a major jaw surgery many years ago. They give you that GigaChad jawline, and I think that went relatively well for him. But then he went to get his eyes done, and I think it was a major eye procedure. Not simply like getting the eyelids taken down a bit. He wanted to get his eyes, like, repositioned in his skull, and it was botched. And then he went to get it corrected. I think it got botched again, and again and again.
This next corrective surgery would have fixed it and we could get back to normal. Unfortunately, I'm still cross-eyed, and if anything, the vision is worse than it was before.
And I think to this day, he is still trying to get this totally corrected. It might be to the point now that it cannot be.
If I look with my left eye, my right eye goes out. If I look with my right eye, my left eye goes out. Worst case scenario, we have to get a strabismus surgery.
And I believe he said he's going to sue the doctor that did this to him. Seemingly, he's going to be like this for the rest of his life. Or even if not the rest of his life, he's going to have complications from this. And he lost a lot of time already. But there always is some degree of risk when going under the knife, especially the more intensive and the more kind of intricate of a procedure that you get done. Now, the guy we're about to look at here, he's got done a number of major procedures. And it's very obvious, but as we're going to see in the comments too, a lot of guys that follow him are totally oblivious. You can see in these posts, if you have functioning eyes, unlike Frank Tufano, that he clearly got surgery. And these guys in the comments will sit there and just go on and on. He got no surgery, bro. He only took PEDs and growth hormone, which he admits to taking. I guess they just want it to be true because it gives them hope. And all of these surgeries, it's not cheap. I put $100,000 in the title. I think that is correct. And this guy is from Australia too, so in Australian dollars, I think we're talking over 150,000. Something to keep in mind with all these prominent Looksmaxxers, especially the younger ones, these dudes are blasting steroids and growth hormone from the time they're in high school. Like 14, 15 years old. And they're getting major surgeries and Botox and fillers and stuff. The only way this is really possible, in my estimation, they have to be trust fund babies. They must be rich kids. Because number one, where are young people getting the money in the first place to do this? And number two, really this is even bigger than the money, you could argue, where are the parents? Like, I'm trying to think about it if I was, say, 18 years old, and I went up to my mom and was like, hey, can I borrow the credit card? She's like, why? I'm like, I'd like to get major invasive surgery performed for cosmetic purposes. She would slap me in the face. Those of you that had a similar upbringing to me know this too. Even asking for $20 from your parents was a big deal. On top of that too, you go and get the surgeries. Depending on the type you get, there is going to be some downtime. Very noticeable. Do these guys just walk back in the house? Faces totally puffy, scars, head wraps on? The parents are just like, hey son! Seriously, man. The upbringing and the family life that you must have to be able to get into this so deep at such a young age, very foreign to me at least. But even beyond the face, there are other major procedures too. Some guys have gotten the limb lengthening surgery. They will grow 2, 3, 4, maybe even up to like 5 or so inches. And getting that done, I've seen that you essentially cannot walk for a year or longer. Other guys too will get their clavicles widened, the bones themselves. So we're at the point now that you can essentially customize your character how you see fit, as long as you've got the money to do so. And when you get these surgeries done, they put you under anesthesia. It kicks in almost instantly. And it would be really nice to have something like that on those nights that you're struggling to fall asleep. Whether it's your energy, focus, mood, or how you show up for the day, How you sleep affects every part of your life, and I've been through this more times than I like to remember. You know when you're tired and get in bed, but actually falling asleep is a pipe dream, and what makes this even worse is that then you get anxious for the next time you try to sleep, and this becomes a vicious cycle. Sleep deprivation can affect your entire life negatively. That's why I recommend the sponsor of today's video, Better Sleep. Better Sleep is one of the highest rated sleep apps on Earth, with over 65 million downloads that can help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep, and finally wake up feeling energized. There are over 300 sounds you can fall asleep to, including different colors of noise, ASMR, binaural beats, and noises from nature. There are also hundreds of softly narrated stories, hypnosis prompts, and meditations that stop your mind from drifting off while easing it into sleep mode at the same time. This is all professional grade too. You don't have to deal with disruptive background noise, low quality audio, or ads jarring you awake. The best part is that you can make customized mixes of your favorite audio. You can layer them, adjust the volume of each as desired, add music and brainwaves, and set timers. I find the ambient sound inside of an airplane very relaxing, but you can never actually properly fall asleep in them, so I've added that to my mix along with soft rain sounds and a few others that put me to sleep fast. And you can make as many mixes as you'd like. The hypnosis tracks are also very good. I'm a sucker for ASMR, and these feature soft voices that are speaking slowly, and you can also mix these with the sounds as well. I consistently fall asleep within about 10 minutes when using this app. No matter what your sleep sounds are, you're going to find them with Better Sleep. So don't remain helpless against bad sleep. Let Better Sleep help you fall asleep faster. You can use my link to try 7 days for free at trybettersleep.co/revival. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to get started. And thanks again to Better Sleep for sponsoring this video. Keep in mind too, I don't know exactly how much growth hormone per day this guy has and does take. According to the comments, it's a ton, more than even pro bodybuilders at the highest levels do. Also, testosterone, I'm sure tren, who knows what else. So we can see him here, this is his most viral post. Your frame can't grow past 18. This is him before, and you can see in the face, when we see the next one too, how much that has changed. But here is his rough bi-deltoid distance. And then in the same shirt, now he looks like this. So if you cannot tell simply from this that he got a lot of work done, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can see his eyes look different, he dyed his eyebrows, different hair color too, perhaps, assuming it is the same shirt, which I'll take his word for it. This is what makes me say that I think he got the clavicle widening surgery, because as you can see on the screen now, this is a candid shot of him in the gym. He's definitely wide, but he does not have a whole lot of back muscle or muscle really anywhere else. He's a classic dude that gets the pump, and he's on the leaner side, and he edits his pictures too a lot, so he looks much bigger than he actually is. This video here tells the story, so he clearly does not have that much back muscle to make himself appear that much wider. Now, one thing going for him, I believe he's like 6'5". He's extremely tall, so I guess he doesn't have to get the limb lengthening surgery at least. See, here's a good example, right? This is him all pumped up in the gym. He's on the leaner side. He's got a solid chest, to his credit. You notice the delts though, man, like I said. Now, this could just be from the steroids, I suppose, but his delts are noticeably more developed, especially right on the edges, on the outsides, than the rest of his body. I mean, his triceps, not a whole lot going on there. His biceps, I suppose, decent, but he's not that large overall in terms of pure muscle mass, especially for a guy his height. I don't know what this guy weighs. You can't tell the legs much here. You never really see his legs. That's for a reason. I'm sure he's got toothpick legs too. Now you can see this guy comment, you could get to this size naturally. Yeah, you in all likelihood could. It's going to take you a while though. I don't know what exactly he's lifting, but I would not imagine it's terribly impressive. He has all these posts all the time. You can't grow your frame past 18. Here's the before picture. Then here's the after. In terms of kind of like the upper body, he's got that silhouette that is very good. In terms of the muscle mass, it doesn't really match up. See, here's a great example of what I mean. Someone asked, what did you do, bro? This guy says he blasted growth hormone. That's what causes his clavicles to get wide. Literally nothing else. Plenty else. Also highly likely what caused his ogre face. This guy up here says lots of steroids and black market peptides along with botched facial surgery. Was it really botched? I don't think you could say that. If it was botched, I think it would be much more noticeable. He'd look much worse. This one he says, the only people who call me a hypermask ogre are feminine twinks. Yeah, so you remember in the recent video about lifting and looks I talked about the word ogre, they say? I don't think this guy's an ogre. He still has the full head of hair, or at least he styles it that way. I notice he does have the bangs all the time. Maybe his hairline's kind of falling back on him, which wouldn't be surprising, given everything he takes. Here's him in the bathroom too. And yet again, are you guys noticing why I said that the delts, I think, have filler? They're just incredibly capped. And again, that could be steroids, but dude, he's got like that IFBB figure woman look. Really capped delts, but then the arms just are not totally there. Even in this one, right, he doesn't have a pump, he's not really flexing. He's trying to a little bit, but his delts are really, really full and rounded compared to everything else. If I had to put money on it, given what we know about this guy and all the other procedures, I think he got delt fillers as well. That does exist, by the way, too, guys. It's not simply just bodybuilders pinning in their shoulders over and over for a long time. You can get direct fillers in your delts, mogging the mecca. Oh, this is Gold's Gym in Venice. Alright. This guy takes a lot of pictures of himself, just everywhere he goes. I guess you have to do the same thing in my position too, doing social media. See, this right here is a great example of what you can get from angle. So he's leaning forward, he's got the phone up high, he's close to the mirror. For all the time he spends in the gym, all of the PEDs, he could have way more results. He should definitely check out one of my programs, linked down below, and so should you. Most of you guys are wasting so much time in the gym. I break down everything you need to know to make serious gains in the long term, a template you can use and adjust for life. You can find tons of testimonials on my site as well. Here he says the best Looksmaxxing transformation, watch until the end. Okay, so once again guys, look at the difference in the face from here to here. He definitely got some of his eyelids taken away. He's got the more so-called like hunter eyes in the bottom here. His chin is more projected. It looks like his jaw is wider too. And he definitely dyed those eyebrows, and it looks like he got more hair on them too. I don't know if that's like minoxidil or if he got some type of hair transplant there or whatever. And here's what I mean about the jaw surgery or the implant or whatever. You notice how much farther out his jawline is here and his chin projects? Now, guys are going to see this and they will be like, oh bro, that's just growth hormone. Growth hormone alone is not doing that, guys. On top of that, too, a lot of guys think they're going to mew their way into this level of transformation. No, you're not. If you are pre-puberty, mewing can have some beneficial effects that way, as far as I know. But this level of forward growth in the jaw and the chin here, not happening without some type of medical intervention. His chin's much farther out. You can also see that his lower lip on the bottom is farther out too. It's more even with his upper lip. And you can see the cheekbones too. They're much more prominent here on the bottom as opposed to up top. And even with differences in body fat, this is obviously medical intervention. And you can see right here that he obviously got surgery not long before this, I would assume. I mean, you can see, right, he got the implants done in the cheeks. It's all puffy, swollen. Looks like his eyelids are messed up too. I mean, it looks like he just got in a fight. Okay, now let's see what happens after this.
You look tired.
Yeah, once again, I mean, you can see that he had something done. It looks like that hairline is falling back a good amount, so I think that's why he wears the bangs so heavy now, because especially with all the stuff he took and genetic predisposition, his hairline might be even farther back than it is right here. Even if it's currently here, that's up pretty high. That is very bad for Looksmaxxing's sake. But you can see, right, just the puffiness and the change in the cheeks and the jaws in now. And this guy up here comments, surgery, obviously. And then this guy says, yes, post-surgery bruised face and 2 needle scars from fat removal. Oh, so I guess he got fat removal too from his face as well. If you cannot see the obvious after effects of the surgery just in this picture, you don't have any business discussing this. I mean, I don't have a ton of business discussing like hard Looksmaxxing in general. I'm not terribly familiar with all the intricacies of it, but I can look at this and tell you it's surgery. You look so different. This guy says HGH and test. This guy says MK677. Someone says not enough. Yeah, dude, MK677's not going to do this to you. For the love of God. This guy here says surgery. Okay, there's at least a few people in these comment sections that can acknowledge that. Here's a good old clip of him before. Oh, this is classic. Okay, he's very skinny and gangly. He's got the pencil neck going on. You can see his chin is nowhere near as projected here. Sitting there with the headset on, looking like a typical nerd. Very youthful looking in the face. Yeah, he really had minimal eyebrows before too. Here he is, I guess, a little bit later. Okay, now we're improving. He's very lean, like I said. Got a haircut. Cool. Looking better. All right, now we're moving along. I don't think any work done up to this point. He was definitely on a good amount of PEDs by this point, though. All right, his jaw. Okay, I think he got it done here. This looks much closer to his current one. So I think the surgery has happened at this point. He looks like a different person already. Looks like his eyes are done here, too. The eyelids have been taken down, or whatever exactly you call that procedure. I don't know how many SMV points you would say he ascended. That's the word they use. But it's very noticeable, for sure. So this guy essentially became like a real-life cartoon character. I like how many pictures of himself he takes now from the side, just to show off his jaw work that he got done. Now this is what it's all about right here, right? I mean, at the end of the day, this is why you do the ascension. I mean, given this guy's height, even if he never got anything done, he likely never would have struggled with women, because being that tall is so unique in of itself. You're going to get so much attention from that alone. I mean, at that height, women will give it to you because you're that rare, simply for the experience. But beyond that too, you improve facially as well. Yeah, he's going to have no problem with women. And then I guess this guy walks around and does the blue steel face, and people recognize him. And then they make whatever demonic face this is, and they just get willingly mogged. And then he posts it on his feed. He says, how I transformed my face, frame, and physique. He says I was very skinny, underdeveloped, and insecure. So I started improving my diet. I joined the gym and studied how to optimize hypertrophy.
You sure about that?
I started researching and experimenting how to maximize bone growth. In terms of the total number of procedures and all the gear this guy's taken, I don't really study this content a ton, but from what I've seen, he's got not only the most dramatic that I've seen, but it seems like everything has gone pretty well for him. So I would assume this guy is at least pretty smart, because there's a lot that could go wrong with all the PEDs, all of the procedures, all of these things. Now here's an interesting comment. Your kids ain't inheriting none of this. So let's say this guy meets a woman and they end up having a child. The child's gonna look like him before. And I would hope that if you meet a woman, you tell her you've got all this work done. I guess in his case it's pretty public, and if you're perceptive you can tell. If you do all this Looksmaxxing and then you have a kid, and your kid is what, sub 5 or whatever term you want to use in the Looksmaxxing community? Do you have to start your kid on everything you did? Like, are you going to raise him the same way and be like, listen, son, we have to have the talk. You're ugly. I did this, this, and this to ascend. You have to do the same thing. That's going to happen, by the way, guys, in the coming years. I'm sure it's already happened to some extent, but oh boy. Good luck to those kids. Oh, here he says, what am I taking to not die at 30?
And we're going to get into the first compound, which is MOTS-C. This is a peptide that increases glucose uptake and mitochondrial biogenesis through the AMPK pathway. The main benefits you're going to get from this are improved insulin sensitivity, increased energy levels and metabolic rate, especially when in a steep deficit, so this is ideal for cutting, and anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. MOTS-C reduces cells' response to oxidative stress and decreases the production of reactive oxygen species.
Okay, I've never really heard of this before, but tack this on is another thing he's got to take, another drug. So the list is already pretty long, and there's going to be more coming up soon too. Now this one he asks, will I die at 30?
This is a common cope I've been hearing, that I'm going to die very young, and it's a way for people to cope with the fact that my quality of life is likely better than theirs. Now what people don't know is that I'm very health conscious, and my biomarkers reflect that. My blood pressure is 120/65, which is within the ideal range. My LDL is actually below the range, which I'll put on screen now.
Okay, LDL cholesterol in terms of direct impact on health really doesn't mean anything.
My C-reactive protein is extremely low. My insulin sensitivity is extremely good, as noted by my fasted blood glucose, HbA1c, and HOMA-IR, all being top tier. These biomarkers are the most important markers to measure your risk of heart issues.
Well, he said those are the most important things for health. Those can have an impact, definitely, but you want to really get like a calcium score. That's probably the best thing you could do as far as I know. This commenter says, this looks like something pretending to be human. Yeah, this lighting I don't think is doing him any favors. It makes his eyes kind of look darker. But when you've had so much work done on your face, you essentially cannot look normal, especially when you're talking. I don't know if this guy's got like fillers and Botox or anything like that done too, but you see these older women that get a lot of it done, and you know their faces are like permanently scrunched up. It turns into that.
So my transformation, Is it possible for you, or am I just a hyperresponder? Well, out of curiosity, I recently got a genome sequencing test, and now I know all the relevant genetics as to whether I'm a hyperresponder. First off, my androgen receptor. The determining factor in how sensitive your androgen receptors are is the CAG repeat length. A shorter length means more sensitive, and a high length means less sensitive.
So this guy is who more plates, more dates thought he was going to become.
The average length is 21 to 23 repeats, and mine is actually 24, so my androgen receptor is slightly less sensitive than average. Now, my IGF-1 receptor. I'm homozygous for the RS2229765 IGF-1 receptor single nucleotide polymorphism. This means I do have potentially a little bit better IGF-1 receptor sensitivity. However, now we get into the FOXO3 gene, which I'm also homozygous for.
This guy is science-based as hell.
It's a very good polymorphism for longevity. It's very good for mitigating oxidative stress, improving glucose metabolism, mitigating cancer cell growth, but unfortunately this comes at the cost of blunting growth and activating catabolic genes such as estrogen-1 and MURF1. So overall, my androgen receptor genetics and IGF-1 genetics are nothing special. Which begs the question, if I could do what I did with these genetics, what could you do with yours?
That is an interesting question, but that assumes that the person has all of the money and all of the time that you do and did to achieve this. ChatGPT can accurately guess how you'll look in 5 years. ChatGPT's guess, reality. Well, that's what happens, man. And realistically, the ChatGPT guess based on this probably would not have been too far off. So we go from this, right? And then with all the work done in the PEDs, we get this. I mean, you really can't have anything else going on in your life. You're not going to be able to have a stable job, or at least if you do, you're going to have to take a lot of breaks from it routinely with the surgeries. Insane amounts of money, all the downtime, maybe people to take care of you. Like, the lavish lifestyle required to even dive into this fully is off the charts. I don't know how much money this guy comes from, but my God, it's got to be a ton. I've said this before about bodybuilding, how it's not a poor man's game. To be really good at it, this is a straight up trust fund baby's game. This guy says, I've already seen this transformation, and honestly, it's the best I've seen. Yeah, you've already seen it, as you said. It is very impressive, to be fair. I mean, this guy definitely got the results that he was looking for. He looks dramatically different. However, you have probably, used testo growth hormone, which is not worth it because of health issues in the long run. Nevertheless, huge respect for your amazing transformation. Okay, guys like this are funny, dude. This is the best transformation I've ever seen. It's not worth it, though, because test and growth hormone. Guys, once again, test and growth hormone, all these other things, in isolation, don't pose these massive health risks. I know people say that all the time and they want it to be true. It's really not. Now, the amount that he's taking, perhaps, if you want to get major results, right, whether it's, looks, muscle, both, whatever, you cannot optimize your health 100% and get the best of both.
For those of you who say steroids age you faster, so does a high protein intake. So even if you're training naturally and you're eating a lot of protein, you're also aging yourself faster.
Okay, this argument's been around for a long time. Essentially, high protein diets activate IGF-1 and mTOR chronically all the time, and that leads to more aging because you're permanently stuck in like an anabolic state. You can never go catabolic, which in terms of reducing aging, you want to be catabolic at certain points. They don't even say in of itself that it's guaranteed to age you. It's a theory. And a lot of people in the past that have pushed this have also come out recently and said like, yeah, it doesn't seem to hold up well. If you want to see my full breakdown about why a lot of lifters, especially bodybuilders, age so rapidly, click the video in the top corner. A lot of people, especially vegans, still push this theory, namely with animal protein. It's not a really good argument. Then this guy says, you can't be dead ass, bruh, you're literally on Reta. That's retatrutide, a fat loss peptide. He says I can cut with or without it. It's one of the healthiest supplements you can take. Well, it's not really a supplement, it's a drug. In terms of the healthiest, that's very subjective, but this guy does admit to taking fat loss peptides too, on top of all the other things. I mean, these guys, man, to their credit, they're pretty open about their drugs, but they take a lot of stuff. So to wrap up, he's going to tell us how to avoid heart growth on PEDs.
What I do to mitigate left ventricular hypertrophy. So I take telmisartan, which is an angiotensin receptor blocker.
Telmisartan reduces blood pressure, and 200 mg of that is a massive dose. You can see guys in the comments saying 200 milligrams, that's insane, bro. Yeah, it is insane. This guy says if I take 40 mg of talmazartan while on 1 gram of test, my blood pressure is like 90/40. Yeah, and that is low. So this is going to vary per person, of course, but he said earlier that his blood pressure was, 120/90? And he's on that massive of a dose of telmazartan. I mean, that's like 4 to 5 times, maybe even more, of the recommended dose, even for people on a decent amount of steroids. If he is taking no telmazartan, what's this guy's blood pressure? There's no way to really know, but it's probably very, very high.
Secondly, a beta blocker. So I take propranolol, and this hugely decreases adrenergic tone and results in a lower heart rate, lower blood pressure, and once again mitigates left ventricular hypertrophy.
And once again, too, man, I mean, we are on a pharmacy of stuff here. I struggle to believe that he's getting all of this stuff from a doctor. Maybe with the money he has, he can do that, but I would assume he's getting all of this from underground sources, too. So much money into this and still going into this. In terms of the surgery, I don't know if he's done or not. Maybe he'll do more. But this is what you're going to have to do, guys, to ascend, so-called, this drastically. And some of you may look at this and think he doesn't even look good after all of this, too. I think he looks objectively better than before, in terms of the overall sort of, like, Looksmaxxing ideal that he's going for. Whether you guys realize it or not, more and more people are going to be getting these procedures, not simply women with the boobs in the butt and Botox and stuff, and the nose jobs. A lot of men are doing this too. I mean, there's entire forums online and YouTube channels where guys discuss this at length, what to do. And we live in the social media age now. I would argue that humans have always been vain and really favoring looks above almost anything else. At the baseline level, before there was like money and, even civilized society and jobs, you were compelled to reproduce with the people you find most attractive. And I think this guy in a way is going to be a trendsetter, at least in terms of his publicity about this, even if he's hiding the surgeries he's gotten, or at least kind of hinting at them but not being totally honest. And on top of that too, there's AI coming up too now. I'm sure people are going to be getting surgery advice from AI, and AI is going to analyze their faces and all this stuff too. So this rabbit hole is going to get much, much deeper. This is for you to decide. But would you rather die younger and look great the entire time, or at least look how you want, or get really old and look like a withered raisin? And people would say over time your perspective on that changes. Probably true, but fuck it, we ball. But this has been it for me, guys. Thank you for watching. If you want to get in direct contact with me, the best way to do so is linked down below, and check out Better Sleep. Start falling asleep faster, staying asleep, and waking up feeling more refreshed. And I will catch you guys next time.